Hello Leo, this is Victoria from Mindful Bamboo and I'm here with your December tarot forecast. As always, I'm going to be looking at your love situation, your career and workspace, and we'll get you some guidance from the universe on how to best utilize the energies of the month. Also, we'll pull some cards with some messages from your personal interest to yourself. And this time, I'm not using my Hermit Tarot, the usual talking cards as I call them. I will be using a regular tarot deck. So a little bit different format, and for the oracle deck I chose the Spirit Junkie Oracle from Gabby Bernstein this time because I feel like the end of the year is a perfect time to set those affirmations, those intentions, right? Send the signal to the universe of what is it you're trying to bring in or what you should be bringing into your life. Speaking of which, I will be doing a few events in the coming months about personal astrology, and my initial one is coming as quickly as next week. It will be a free webinar where I will be, it's like an intro basically to personal astrology, where I will be talking about what is it, like why is this topic important, why I do strongly believe that it's so much more than like the horoscopes, and I'm not just saying about these horoscopes, but those things that we read once in a while, and different experts have different ways of doing divinational messages, aka horoscopes for different signs. But it's so much more than that, right? And I used to be like the last person to be serious about astrology and its importance in our life. But in the last few years, I learned so much about it. I learned so much about my own journey and my potential and my destiny and like etc., and was able to work on a lot of things for myself on my personal journey that I can't wait to share that with you guys. It's almost like, well, this knowledge is such common knowledge, right? And it's available to all of us, to every one of us, right? So why not use it to our advantage? Especially if you don't have a lot of background in doing inner work or healing work, right? This is going to be a big stepping stone to that. And next year I will be doing more educational content on inner work and healing. But I feel like this is going to be a good setup to kind of begin to start with, especially like I said, if you don't have a lot of that experience of doing it before. You know, when you've established the structure and who you are, you know what you need to work on, where you're going, like then you're just kind of filling in more and more details, right? And that's where my learnings, or my teachings rather, on inner work and healing will be really useful, because I'll be talking about practical tools. I will be doing a lot of examples of like different scenarios and how to work with those. But before we get to that, we need to build that structure, right? Like if you're working with someone already, like a coach, a mentor, a therapist, maybe they've helped you with that, perfect, you can go straight to healing part. But a lot of us don't have that much information, and there are a lot of people who can't afford doing like private sessions for hundreds of dollars for that, right? So this is kind of like your easy way in, so to speak. Okay, let's see what we have for Leo for the month of December. There is no such thing as a mistake. Everything happens in divine order. I'm being guided to learn and grow. Beautiful. This is for you to remember that you're exactly where you're supposed to be, and not to blame yourself or others, not to regret what happened, right? Not to replay it in your mind. It's our mind likes to do. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. Nope. Just remember that this is exactly what was supposed to happen. Okay. Actually, astrology is talking about karmic past in a very interesting way, including like the traumatic events. Okay. So, Leo, for your love situation, we have 8 of Cups, 2 of Swords, King of Swords. Interesting. It's a love situation, but it looks like a lot of it is about yourself. For your workspace, we have 9 of Cups, Judgment, and 4 of Pentacles. Okay. some new clarity coming in. And the advice, we have Death, High Priestess, and Ace of Pentacles. 2 major arcana out of 3 here. That's a big deal. Bottom of the deck, 5 of Cups. Yeah, focusing on... This is actually another side of this message that we just heard, right? When you're looking at the positive side, even in a seemingly negative situation. And positive and negative is kind of a subjective thing anyway, right? And even more importantly, like whatever feelings and emotions you have, like it's all very like, relative, right? Because in any and every situation you can find the positive side of it. It's important to keep that in mind. So in terms of the signs that I'm seeing here that you could be dealing with, we have Scorpio twice, very strong Scorpio, and we have High Priestess, just Cancer, a lot of watery energy. Usually Leo is not that great with dealing with the water energy, but I guess this is the point in time where you're supposed to be focusing more on feelings and emotions, right? And how you're dealing with them, and how you can bring about, how you can use this learning from maybe some unfortunate events, at least from your point of view, in order to bring in happiness, in order to learn and to grow. Okay, so let's get into the love space. So to me, you are presented here is the King of Swords. This is like the mighty, monarch that they can see, they can read between the lines, they can see beyond what people are telling them, right? And this is the role that you're assuming in your relationship, but not necessarily by choice, but kind of naturally with how things are flowing. That's what I'm getting for you, right? Because the more you're faced with certain impasse situations or crossroads where you need to make a decision, the more you're becoming like that decisive and all-knowing monarch, right? Because you can't be sort of like shy and standing in the corner just waiting for somebody else to step in. You're being put in situations where you constantly need to action on those, like in those situations, right? You need to take steps, to take action. And that's why you're becoming, so the positive side, of course, is that you're becoming more confident and you can see the bigger picture. You can have that wise, actually, outlook on things, right? Especially if you have the facts, right? That's an important part of it. Because when you don't, then you get still, you come back into that impasse situation, right? The important part is to walk away from previous templates and patterns that you had. This is around relationship, remember that. So whatever constructs you were brought up with or you thought were true, they're now changing. And I have this strong feeling you're being pushed into this new templates, new patterns, right? New mindset on what healthy relationships are all about. And like this is your learning basically, right? So like leave behind those constructs that you had before, understand where they're not working and they're only getting you more confused, and you have to kind of retrace your steps again and again, right? Until you get it right. So it's easier to just rely more on your knowledge and intuition and kind of come up with those paths, those approaches by yourself. That's interesting. Don't have any information about your person here, but we'll get some when we get some messages from them. For your career space, yeah, so there is a big time of opportunities to fulfill bigger goals, to make wishes come true, right? As long as you don't keep holding back and playing small and kind of like, like that saying, it's better to have one bird in your hand than two in the bush, right? Like that's not about you right now. Don't do that. Don't downplay the potential that you have and what you can achieve, even in your current place of work. I'm getting that, like even with where you are, it's not like you've reach the ceiling and there is nowhere to go anymore, unless you actually leave and go somewhere else, right? Another department, another company. No, that's not true. This may seem like that, but if you dig deeper, right, the Scorpio energy and the judgment, you will get insights on how to make it work, right? There may be some uncomfortable decisions. That's what I'm getting to. Like, you may actually have to step into someone else's role, right? And this is up to you, of course, in your integrity and work ethics, how you want to play it. If there is a risk that you're actually gonna take someone else's job, right? And they will have to be dismissed or they will have to leave, right? So this is a kind of a trickier point here. But the main idea that I'm asked to deliver here is that it's all available to you. So if you're thinking, well, I'd be great as a manager, a leader of this project, but there's another person and they're good at their job, so like I don't see any scenario of how I can get that job, right? We can both be leading the project. And then suddenly the opportunity comes up, or once you start bringing in your ideas and sharing with others and showing up, and people start seeing how good you are and that you'll actually be a much better leader than that other guy, right? Then suddenly, as by magic, those opportunities come in, and they are not that out of this worldly kind of anymore, right? They're actually feasible, reachable. So it will depend on you how far you want to go with it and whether you actually want to take it forward. And the spirit is asking you to do that, by the way. To learn and to grow. That's part of that learning path. Yeah, and the advice that we see here is Death, High Priestess, and Ace of Pentacles. So big transformation ahead, right? You don't have to reinvent the wheel or to come up with some intricate plan. Basically, with this major arcanas, there is a divine intervention and you will be presented with certain options and opportunities. And it will be up to you to tune into your intuition as much as possible and make those choices. And look at this pentacle, the Ace of Pentacles here. I love this card because the pentacle is huge, it's enormous. So that's how much abundance you have coming up for you. If you don't resist this energies of transformation and don't resist your inner knowing. Like sometimes we have that inner voice in our head tell us, like, point us into the right direction. We're like, no. Logically it makes sense to do something else. I'm just gonna go with it, right? And then your intuition becomes quieter and quieter and you're moving off the alignment and off, right? So this is asking you to kind of give yourself a break and be open to this transformational energy. Another one is keep that inner voice talking, like, talk to it yourself, right? Those things are going to be key in reaching your financial success and possibly other ways on how you will be rewarded in life, right? It could be, I don't know, you could get an inheritance, right? Or somebody will gift you something that you've always wanted, right? It can be all kinds of things. Or you'll suddenly have a lot more time on your hands. Who knows, right? Maybe this new position that you're gonna get at work will actually have a lot less hustle for you, but you will be able to still bring in a lot of impact, but do less hours. Something along those lines. Okay, let's get you some messages from your person. Messages for Leo from their person. Anything else? Sometimes I get carried away and forget that there's an actual candle here. And this one looks pretty scary right now. But I like this sound. It's supposed to crackle like that. That's the kind of candle. Wow, we got 4 cards. So 2 of Pentacles, juggling, 7 of Cups, too many options, sounds familiar. Knight of Swords, going straight for your truth, and Page of Pentacles, being open, right? So your person is basically saying that they can see that you have a lot going on and you have so many options on where to take your life and who to share your life with. They want to tell you very much that they would like to be the person that fulfills your dreams and that can be a worthy life partner for you. But they do understand if right now you need to focus on building your life rather than building yourself up, rather than on the relationship, right? With these choices that you have in front of you, and also with being presented with new opportunities of abundance that you need to explore. And they support you in that. They understand, although it may be kind of unconventional, because they may feel a little bit kind of left behind in all of this, but they trust that you will make the best decisions, and there will be a part for them in this pledge as this Knight of Swords. Notice, like the last thing I'm going to mention here, that they are showing up as a Knight of Swords. You're showing up as the King of Swords. So that means that there's also this disbalance in maturity and wisdom. And if that's the case, the Spirit is asking you to kind of not to rush with decisions or conclusions, even if that's how you see things, right? But just take a note on that and kind of keep working through your progress, through your process, through what you're doing now, and check again a couple of months later and maybe 6 months later and see what happens, right? However often you're asked to do that, but things may turn around pretty quickly with that. I hope this has been good, guys, for you. Yeah, please like the video, share, subscribe to my channel, leave me a comment, and don't forget that I have that webinar on personal astrology coming up. It's free, you just need to sign up. If you are not going to find information on my channel or website about it, then just drop me an email and I'll sign you up for it. Thank you, guys.